Welcome to the SIU Today Podcast. I'm John Wickman. I'm here with Kareem Barakat. Kareem, welcome.
I appreciate it. Thanks, John.
Kareem, you are the president of North Texas IASIU, right?
Yes.
So how'd you get involved with IASIU? Give us a little background about your position, what you're doing, and how you got involved in the industry.
Yeah. So I wish I was younger. I'm not. I've been around for a while. I got started as a private investigator. Oh God, going on 25 years now, and just gradually after 5 years moved into working for a carrier and just started working for carriers. I've been working for an internal SIU now for since 2006 or 7, and really been around a long time, and got involved with IASIU really within the last couple of years. In 2022, I was asked to be a director here for the North Texas chapter, and I thought it was time I should start getting a little more involved, and really didn't get involved just because it's just been, my schedule's always been crazy and busy, and working in the non-standard side of things. I just never really had the time. And I got into a point in my career where I did have the time, and I wanted to be more involved. And in 2022, I became a director, and then became vice president a few months later, at our elections in 2023, or might have been, yeah, 23. And some things just kind of put me into the president's chair shortly after that. And here we are. I've been the president of the chapter since November of 2023. And it's been a learning experience, but it's been a good one. And it's really been just a cool kind of experience, just with the people involved, and being a part of it.
What's the goal of North Texas chapter? What are you guys trying to strive to do?
So I think our industry has changed so much in that, the IASIU has always been about, when you think of it, you think of SIU investigators, um, and you don't really think, I always thought that from the outside looking in, that's what it was. And if you look over the last 20 years, the industry has changed so much from the standpoint of SIU, in that companies like yours have gotten more evolved with what they do. And our goal is to educate and train. We want more people to be involved. And part of that is we want to get more investigators involved. Just doesn't have to be working for an insurance carrier. We want to get anybody that's in the, where their core job function is to investigate an insurance claim, whether it be fraud or just the claim itself. We want that type of involvement. We want those folks to come on board. We're working on things within our chapter here over the next few months to change some things up and get more members in that may not work for a carrier. So many companies have become specialized in the different things that they do with surveillance. I've listened to some of your presentations with the unmanned surveillance. Just the technology in surveillance alone has changed so much over the last 10 years. And now you have major case investigators with some investigation companies, and just the vehicle forensics part of it. So we want to get those people more involved, and we want to continue to provide that education, the training, the networking, and just kind of, as insurance fraud isn't a one-man operation. It really does take an army, and it takes a network, and just the more people the more you become educated on what's going on out there, my opinion. And that's our goal. That's what we want to do over the next year.
A couple of weeks ago, you guys had your annual seminar. Can you speak on that a little bit?
Yeah, so that was quite an experience for me, being new to the setting, or getting this thing done. And one of the first task was getting a facility to get this thing going. In the past, they've had good seminars, but we wanted something different. And I was able to reach into my bag of just some great people within our industry who were able to put us in the room with Copart, and man, they stepped up huge. Everybody usually thinks of Copart as salvage, auto auctions, things of that nature, and they really weren't familiar with the insurance fraud side of things and the investigative part of things. And once we kind of let them know, educated them a little bit on what we were about, what the people involved were about, with the vendors and everybody just coming together, they were really, really just didn't hesitate. They played ball, and they were like, we want in, we want to get involved in this part of it. And they let us have our event at the WJ Ranch in Salina, Texas. And just really an awesome, awesome facility. And they were so gracious as a host, and we were able to put on a really, really good show. I've been told that it was one of the better seminars for the region in a while. We had some really great speakers. We had some really great presenters. We wanted to get fresh stuff in there, and we were able to accomplish that. And it seemed like they were really, really pleased with the presentations, and we feel like it was a great seminar. And we really, really appreciate the presenters and the speakers that came out. And they just the presentations, like, everybody just did a great job with that, and it was just really educational. And I just got a lot of good feedback from people just I know within the industry that they just love the presentations, which that's what these are about. And I think I don't want to say we hit it out of the ballpark. The presenters hit it out of the ballpark and did just such a great job. And they were just so prepared with their presentations and what they spoke about. And we were just thrilled with that. And we had about 140 to 150 people that attended. And it was just a great hit, great environment, great place. And we hope to build on that relationship with them, and hopefully they'll let us come back and do it again.
Yeah, that's what I was going to ask. Do you think that maybe we'll end up there again in the near future?
I hope so. You know, it's cool when you bring in something different. Usually that place is used for company, management meetings or co-part events. This was a seminar in that you kind of just bring everybody together from different carriers to the different investigation companies. And it was, I hope it was a trial run for us, in that next time we could do a 2-day event. And I do hope that they let us come back. We got some positive feedback from them. They were awesome. The facility runs so smoothly. It's a well-oiled machine there, and we hope that they have us back. I think we behaved enough to let them to let us come back, and I think, and I'm hoping they will. I really do, because I think it's a great venue. It's a great venue to hold an event like that. Um, and just like in the Field of Dreams, if you build it, they will come. And um, I think next time will be bigger and better, and it'll even be bigger and better if they allow us to come back. And I'm hoping that relationship stays intact and we can build off of it from this year.
Well, speaking of having in-person events, and when this little thing a couple of years ago called COVID-19 happened, and
Yeah,
webinars have become a really big thing.
yeah.
So I know traveling budgets and going to these things, it's starting to really pick back up, and it's kind of almost going back to the level it once was. But what are the benefits of attending your seminar in person
Yeah.
compared to maybe just being on a webinar for an hour or two on a Wednesday at my own office?
Well, I'll tell you, for me, um, I'm the kind of guy that likes in person contact. And Webinars are great. Webinars are convenient. Webinars are, you can, multitask when you attend a webinar. But I think one of the things that you notice at these seminars is they don't, it's hard to get to know John Wickman at PhotoFax in a webinar. It's easier to get to know John in person at a seminar or a conference. And the one thing that you take from these is it kind of happened towards the end of the day where, the one important thing is the question and answer part in my mind after a presentation, because if you have questions, you want them answered. And I think when you're there in person, I think it's just you're there, you're part of it. It's a different environment, it's a different atmosphere. The other part of it is sidebarring with some of these presenters as well after their presentations, to kind of pick their brain and to talk to them. And I think one of the most important things is the networking. And when it comes to SIU investigators, there's, through the month, I could just speak for myself. I talked to 2 or 3 different ones just throughout the month, just on different stage accident ring investigations or things of that nature. And it was kind of refreshing to see some sidebars at the mixer afterwards, just some guys talking about their cases that work for different carriers and things of that nature. And that's important. I mean, these seminars and conferences I've been going to since early in my career, and I've met a lot of people throughout the years at these things. I met you at a seminar, at a conference. It's and that's a lot of it is the networking, and I think that it's an important part of it. I think getting everybody together as well. I think that's important. I think COVID-19 just kind of parked everybody. People got comfortable and didn't want to leave their homes, and that's to each his own. I think if you're comfortable with that, that's great. But I think it's important to get out there, and I think it's healthier to get out there. I think it's important for the mind and the soul to be around other people in your field. And that's how you learn about what's going on in our industry. It evolves, it changes. People are getting better at committing the fraud.
Yeah.
And we have to get better than them. So I think I just think anytime you can put people in a room together, it's always going to be more productive in my mind.
I kind of think it goes back to what you said. It takes an army, and those are what those in-person things are for. Because maybe you'll meet someone that's working on a case that you're working on at the moment, or they have worked on a case, and they have maybe an idea or a tool that you don't know about that could actually help you solve that case or settle it, or really get the information that you're looking for.
No, you're exactly right. I think that it's you know, depending on what kind of case you're talking about, there could be, I mean, and it's true. There's different angles that an investigator from company A may have looked at or investigated, or knows of another subject that's involved with that same subject that company B hasn't looked at. And it's one of the things where, I back to the point, a lot of people don't know what like companies like yourself offer. They don't, because we have a lot of, my thing is I want more involvement from adjusters. I want more involvement from material damage reps, appraisers. They don't get to experience that. And we had a lot of adjusters that came out. And one of the things that I wanted to push was, if you're an adjuster and you investigate claims, you need to talk to these folks out here that are here representing their investigative companies, because more than likely they offer a service that you are not aware of, that you don't know exists, which could help you in your day to day. And back to your question about what the goal is, I want more involvement from that when we have these things, when we have these seminars, when we have these events. I want adjusters to come out and experience it too. We had a big turnout from adjusters that have never experienced that, and they were just blown away just by all the people. Somebody had made the comment to me, an adjuster that I've known for almost 15 years. She said, "Wow, I didn't know that God, you knew all these people. I said, it's just not me. Everybody kind of knows everybody here because of how we operate as the investigative part of the industry. It really does take an army. And I think a lot of people were blown away by that. And that's how you learn about what exists in our industry and how to fight it. And by coming out to these things, and it's the companies that support them as well that allow them to come out, that pay the expense to have them come out. It's beneficial to the company as well. So it really starts from the company that is big on the fight against insurance fraud and is willing to support their employees in attending these functions.
These organizations and chapters, not just IASIU, but all these different types of fraud chapters for different organizations, they really rely on vendors to come out and sponsor and have booths and speakers to come out. For a vendor that might be watching this, or maybe that didn't attend, what are some of the benefits for them to get involved in your chapter?
Well, and I think to what I just spoke of a little bit, my goal is as the chapter president and our board is on board with this and agree wholeheartedly. I think a lot of chapters agree with this. I think the ISIU would agree with getting, insurance fraud starts from the SIU standpoint from the adjuster level a lot of the time. We live in a world with predictive analytic tools and software now, but it still starts at the adjuster level. And one of the things that I just spoke about when it comes to like the vendors, heck, even SIU reps, it's become so advanced now with the technology. These investigative companies are using and using tools that a lot of us in the industry aren't aware of. And I think it's beneficial to the vendors to come out. And God, I said this at the conference, at the seminar, we wouldn't be able to do things like this if it weren't for the vendors and these sponsors. But the flip side of it is it's beneficial to them for them to be involved because so many people come out that aren't aware of these services. And it really is an opportunity to kind of give a description of what you do as a company and what you can do. And you have these adjusters who an old gristled SIU guy like myself who knows some things, I don't know everything, but you have an adjuster that comes in that doesn't have a whole heck of a lot of knowledge about what an investigative company can do. In their mind, they might just think, oh, y'all just do surveillance. And that's not true anymore. It might have been true 25 years ago. That's not true anymore. These companies have become so advanced with their technology and what they do, and the people that they're bringing into their companies are advanced and they're skilled and they've got experience. And I think it's beneficial for a vendor to be involved or to become a vendor because of the exposure that they'll have to so many people that are unaware of what they do and the services they can perform. And the more we can get, the more people are that'll come out. And I think it's beneficial to the vendor in that I think it obviously helps your overall business, I think. And in return, you get to help out some folks who aren't aware of what you offer. And I think you can change their day to day by some of the things that you guys can perform. And I think that's really the positive outcome of being involved in our chapter and in all the chapters across the country.
What are some specific highlights? I mean, you kind of talked about this a little bit about the seminar, but what are some highlights that maybe you want to touch on about what happened a couple weeks ago?
Well, I think people were, so many things move and shake at these things. It was my first one to work behind the scenes, and
I
it's
thought I saw some gray hair in your hair
yeah,
the last time I
I'm
saw
even
you.
more grayer today than I was 2 weeks ago. But I think it's funny you don't know what people want. You never go into it knowing, oh, people are going to want to see this, that, or the other. And the tough thing about this is when you fill your roster up with the speakers and the presenters, you're like, dang, man, there's so many good ones. And I've experienced this as an attendee, like, oh man, I want to see this, but then this guy's doing this or that gal's doing this. And I think that was a tough thing. And we had to move things around because a lot of people wanted to, wanted in on some vehicle forensics. Our guy, Dennis Shardinsky from Miami, who I've known a long time, very skilled in that, um, on that side of things. And people, he gave a great presentation. And I think some of the takeaways are the AI, social media, things of that nature that you guys did. Um, Again, people, adjusters don't get to experience that. And I think in your presentation, you probably saw some faces you weren't familiar with in there. A lot of them were claims people, because that's the kind of stuff they have access to. And the vehicle forensics, as I mentioned, and then just the statements. The part of an adjuster or an SIU investigator's core job function is taking statements. And I think that was a beneficial class as well. So when you look at like the high points, we wanted to add things to our roster that you don't get to see that often, it being regional. And I think we did that. The high points were offering those presentations and that education on something that they don't see every day and they don't get every day. And whether it was AI or social media or cell phone investigations or hail, it was something that was beneficial to everyone or someone there. I shouldn't say everyone, but to someone there or a group there. And that was our goal. And I think we succeeded in that. But I think those were the high points in having some of those classes that they don't get to generally see, or is available to them on a regular basis. When you're getting CEs for your adjuster's license, you don't really see AI social media as a part of that. These are given by people who have experience in those types of investigations. And that's what makes it interesting. And that's what makes it a high point.
If I'm a vendor or if I'm an adjuster or an investigator and I want to get involved in the chapter, how do I go about doing so?
You can call me or email me. We have a board of directors, and if you go to our website, ntiasiu.org, you can contact myself, my email, my phone number, our vice president, Sarah Bowman, her phone number, her email, Jessica Davis, Jeffrey Kia, Jake Opperman, William Daniels, David Taylor. These are all people that are involved in our board. If you go to our website at ntiasiu.org, you can reach out to one of us, send us an email, call us, text us, and we'll be happy to answer any questions and get you involved. We'd like to have you.
Kareem, I appreciate you coming on the podcast today, kind of talking about the seminar. I was there, I spoke there, went really well. It was very well received. The venue, really liked it, and enjoyed everything, and I appreciate the hospitality. Is there anything that you want to add that we may not have touched on before we sign off here?
No, I feel like the more and more we get this kind of stuff out there, I think you do a great job with this. I get involved. I spoke earlier that I wasn't involved too much before 2022, but really it's been a really great experience for me. The people are great people, experienced people. If you're a younger investigator, you're new to the investigative world, whether you work for a carrier or you work for an investigative company, get involved. Come out to these things, come out to the seminars, come out to the conferences, join your local chapter, and it'll help you with your growth. I really truly believe that. And if you are one of those individuals, come on out. We want to see you. We want you to be a part of it.
Well, thank you, Kareem. I'm looking forward to seeing you again soon. I'm sure you'll be in Nashville, I'm guessing.
I'll be there. Yes,
All right.
sir.
So I'll see you at the national conference this year in August, and I'll talk to you soon. And if anyone watching this wants to get involved in the chapter, has any questions, go to their website and you can reach out to Kareem or any of the other board members.
I appreciate it, John.
All right. Well, you have a great day and
You
stay out
too.
of trouble, and I'll talk to you soon.
Thank you, sir. You do the same.